I'm going to talk to you today about the author of the I Survived books. Her name is Lauren Tarshis. Here is her website, and I'm going to read a little bit about her. It says, I live in Connecticut with my husband and 4 children. My parents, mother-in-law, my brother and sister-in-law, and 3 nieces all live around us. This makes me very happy. When I'm not with my family or working on Storyworks, a great magazine for kids, or writing, I like to be with my friends. I met my 2 best friends when I was 11 years old, and I still talk to one or the other almost every single day. As I get older, I try harder and harder to learn new things. Learning to write a novel for young people was a process that took many, many years. This year, I learned how to create this website, which was really fun. I also learned to bake perfect chocolate chip cookies. The secret: put the dough in the fridge for an hour or so before you bake them. And I learned how to hike in the wilderness. My first time, my friend and I got lost, and a mysterious old man appeared from nowhere to help us. Otherwise, we might still be there. We learned our lesson: bring a compass and good maps. I'm still thinking about what to learn next year. So that's a little bit about the author. One more thing I wanted to show you before I read the first chapter of one of the books is all the different I Survive books that she's written. She has written a total of 24 total I Survived books, and here's the list of all of them right here. This one, the Wellington Avalanche, is the one that I'm going to read the first chapter of today for First Chapter Friday. There's also graphic novels about the I Survive book graphic novels. There are 10, and they're all listed right there. There's also I Survived True Stories. I haven't read any of these, but they look pretty good. So those are all of her I Survive books. She also has some more books. Only My Dog Knows, Pick My Nose. Okay. And this one. Imogene Lazarus Fell Out of a Tree. And Imogene Lazarus Fell in Love. Okay, let's get started on reading the first chapter of I Survived the Wellington Avalanche. Okay, chapter 1. Tuesday, March 1st, 1910, 1:40 a.m., Wellington, Washington. Roar! The ear-splitting explosion shook the ground. 11-year-old Janie Pryor swung her head around and stared in horror. The mountain above her seemed to have shattered apart. A massive wave of icy snow was crashing down. An avalanche. For the past 6 days, Janie had been stuck in this stormy wilderness. A fierce blizzard had stopped the train she'd been riding, trapping her and dozens of others. Day after day, snow gushed from the sky. Icy winds howled. The snow blocked the tracks and practically buried the train. It covered the mountain until even the trees disappeared. And now, Janie was standing outside in the night. Before her eyes, snow had broken loose from the side of the mountain. The thick white blanket had turned into a churning wave. It sped down the mountain, destroying everything in its path. Crash! The trees shattered to bits. Boom! Boulders broke loose from the earth. With every second, the killer wave grew bigger, heavier, deadlier, the snow mixing with wood and rocks and great hunks of dirt. Faster and faster it moved. It was heading right for Janie and the train with men, women, and children inside. They were all fast asleep. They had no idea what was coming. "Wake up!" Janie screamed. "Avalanche!" But the avalanche drowned out her cries. She took off running for her life as the wave of snow thundered after her. Its icy breath huffed behind her. Its frozen jaws snapped at her heels, and suddenly the ground beneath her feet was snatched away. Snow and ice rose up around Janey and swallowed her whole. She was part of the wave now, and so was the train. The avalanche had grabbed the cars from the tracks, hurled them into the air like toys. Janey could hear the horrific sounds of the train being torn into shreds. Wood crunching and snapping, metal screeching, a steam engine hissing like a giant snake, and people crying out in terror. Janey's body twisted and spun. Snow lashed at her face and jammed up her nose. She was afraid she'd be torn apart, until the wave suddenly stopped. Janey had no idea if she was alive or dead. She couldn't move, she couldn't see or hear, she couldn't breathe. It seemed that she and the world had disappeared.